Alright, we're back. I, I caught myself this time. Uh, that other one was dragging on. I'd like to make them a little bit, uh, I don't know, 20 minutes is better than 30, which is better than 40 or whatever the first one was. 50, actually, I think. Uh, so I'd like to make them a lot quicker than that. But, I got a lot to go through, so maybe I'll eventually get better. So anyway, let's finish this shelf. Christmas Slaughter by Mark Grant. Most of the books in this series not too hard to get, but for some reason I don't know why this one is hard, the hardest one to get. Uh, I mean, usually it goes for at least $50. I forget how much I paid for it. I don't think it was that. Uh, don't know if I really like this series too much, but it's interesting enough for me. And when I found this one, I snagged it. Like I said, it's okay. It can be hard to get. And I think I might have shared those books on Instagram and Twitter when I did a whole bunch of books. I got them boxed up somewhere, and I did a whole. I went through those boxes and took pictures and posted them. Um, I think I got them on there. Eventually, I might make the like I said, but before I might make a video of those boxes again too. Sometimes it's easier to see them as a video than it is with pictures. And uh, Darker Than You Think by Jack Williamson. Yeah, just look at that cover. Yeah, try to show you. It's in a little plastic bag, so it might be hard to find. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this cover. I mean, it's not really detailed, but a lot of animals there and everything. I said, well, yeah, I saw that, and I said, well, I gotta get it. Gotta get it. There's a scorpion, looks like a saber-toothed panther, like an eagle, a bat, like a rattlesnake or something, and she's riding on a pterodactyl. The woman is, and they're all got their mouth open pretty much. Well, yes, the scorpion is for what as much as a scorpion can't open his mouth. And apparently, this is in the realm of the Wheatley genre. Dennis Wheatley genre is similar to those. I probably want to read this and before the rest of the Wheatleys. Let's see. The car. Dennis Shryak and Michael Butler. From the way I've heard this explained, it's like Stephen King's Christine before Christine came along. And I think I read King's From a Buick 8, and I think it's similar to that as well. I don't know. If I read it, it didn't leave much of an impression on me, or at least my bad memory uh, got the better of me. And I can't remember too much about it. Most of the books I read, I don't remember too much about them after I read them. It's mostly because this darn thing up here, it takes a lot to make an impression up there to get me to remember something. Yeah, this apparently was made into a movie, according to the cover. So yeah, it was a little bit rare. I mean, you can find it. It's not the rarest of some books, but you can probably expect to pay $20, $30 for it. I imagine when you find it. Anybody that's got a rare book collection in the horror realm. Usually got that, and they show it off. Both of these are grouped together. I forget. These are pseudonyms. Hold on a minute. I forget who they're a pseudonym for. Once again, my bad memory get me. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Richard Lehman, I think? The pseudonym is Philip Straker. I got Nightlust. And I got Nightbait. For some reason, I got it in a plastic bag and I never took it out. Nightbait's not. Both have been read, and Nightbait's a little bit more war. Yeah, it came in a little bag, and I just never got around taking it off. Most people say they're forgetful, but the synopsis and a little bit of a rarity to them caught my attention. I said, well, I'll go ahead and get them. You know, they look like, sound like something that I would really like. And I like things that nobody else does for the most part. You know, my music tastes. You know, I don't give up on anybody when I like them. Like I was a big Vanilla Ice fan when he came out. Never dropped him. Once I did. Not only did I not stop listening to him. I mean, he was on the radio like every 15, 30 minutes. It seemed like one of those two songs that he was most famous for back in the 90s, early 90s. I remember listening to the radio, you know. He was on multiple stations, you know. You finish on one station, and like 15 minutes later, they'd be on another one, you know. He was really popular at one time. And a lot of people dissed him for some reason. I didn't. I wound up collecting a bunch of his albums because he never really stopped putting out music. And he just changed genres. And I kept up with him. And I got most of them. And so, you know, so I like things that nobody else really does. And these should be right in my wheelhouse, you know. I mean, they're not forgetful. I mean, look, they're decently thick books, you know. I mean, you didn't just write them as one off or anything, you know. I mean, you put some time and effort in there. There should be some worthwhile story in there, right? Another Russ Martin book, The Resurrection of Candy Sterling, I'm sorry. With Rhea, this is probably the hardest one to get in the series. You can usually find the others. I think there's 6 in the series. And you can usually find those. But this one was a really big hassle to find. I mean, I had to basically I'm sorry, my stammering's getting me. I basically asked for got some help to find this. There's a eBay seller. I believe her name, or at least the one she goes by on eBay, it's called the Horror Lady. I haven't frequented her page in a while. She can find some good, hard to find books at times, and I don't know how she did it, but she found this book 3 times, and I don't believe anybody else could find it, and she found it 3 times. I missed out the first 2 times, and I darn snagged it the 3rd time. I paid for it too. I don't like paying too much for a book, but didn't think I was gonna get a 4th chance. I mean, the 3rd one probably, I think, definitely went for higher than the other 2. I missed out. and I probably, like I said, I paid for it just to complete the set. Don't know if I ever get around to reading them because I got so many others to read. But if I do get to read a series, you gotta have this one. And I thank her kindly for that. She, that was one big order, and that was close to, at one time, it was the most expensive book I spent. I don't know if I could get that much out of it when I eventually resell it. I don't think I can get that much out of it. But yeah, I have forget the words. Regrettably spent a little more now, and there's 2 books I'm looking at that hopefully I don't wind up buying them, or at least 2. Probably when I really look into it, there's probably 6 that are definitely the most expensive ones, or they will be if I ever get a chance to buy them. But right now I just don't have the finances to get those. But they are available, and they've been available for a while because they're apparently overpriced. And one of them might be justified in its price because the inflation, whatever you call it, the exchange from the dollar to the pound makes it a lot more expensive for someone like me to buy than it would be somebody over in Britain to buy. Because the exchange rate has gotten almost 50% more now. Per you spend $1, then it costs. You spend one. It takes $1.50 to buy what the equivalent of £1, pretty much, right now. I mean, I looked at the graph of the exchange between the dollar and the pound over time, and according to the graph, it looks like it eventually will rebound and get better. But it's on a downward trek, and I've been watching it for at least a year, and it's just plunging. It just keeps going down, and at a steady clip. This one book has lost at least $80 in value, or it's gotten $80 more expensive to me because of the exchange rate. Since I first started noticing the exchange rate, I've been watching it a little bit more, but I didn't pay attention before. And I don't want to tell you what book it is, because on the off chance somebody else might snag it because of that. I'll tell you, yeah, it's very high, but it's probably the only one I'll ever see. Only copy I'll ever see of that book. Anyway, continuing, The Flesh in the Furnace by Dean Koontz. It's one of his science fiction books. A little thin thing. I'd like to collect any Koontz book I can get in the science fiction that he did. But they can be found, but it's harder to track them down. So far I haven't really put too much effort into it. But I did find this one. I did search this and that. But if I can get the others, then I will. I've had most of the other horror books, but I got rid of most of them. I don't think I have very many left. I have read a few, and the ones I have read, I've liked all of them. And but yeah, I'd like to collect as many of the science fiction I can get. But you just can't see them in a flea market or something like that. You have to search for these online. John Stone's The Uninvited. Yeah. And another, I wouldn't say it's a 100% necessary book in the horror genre, but it's I mean, the author, he's got a lot of books that everybody says is a must reads in the genre, yeah. And you can't really go wrong with this one, I guess. I think I'll eventually read it. Now this one's a combo book. It's 2 books in one. I went searching for this one book. I was going to search for the second one, and lo and behold, when I finally found an affordable copy of this one book, it actually included the second one, and it was cheaper to buy them as a pair at the time than it was to get them separately. Eat Them Alive and Flesh Bait. I damn it got it, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. Show you, yeah. Kind of got a bluish tint to the skull on the back. See, it's apparently it's a British edition, I guess. It looks like reddish tinge to the front. I like the cover of Eat Them Alive, the Praying Mantis. They can usually, if you can find it, that's the highly sought after book. Another one you can expect to spend at least $50 if you can find it. This one, as a combo, nowhere near that price. At least, apparently, I found somebody that didn't know what they had. It wasn't that cheap, but yeah, it was a price cheaper than it probably should have been. I mean, Flesh Bait's another. If you can find it, it's a good $20 book by itself. Maybe more now. I mean, as far as what I gather, the Eat Them Alive is more like a goofy book. You know, instead of outright animal horror or regular horror. But you know, like I said, both of those are right up my wheelhouse. You know, being goofy and animal horror. So yeah, I would rather had the other covers because they're catchy, but this would be just fine for me. You know, I'm not the biggest Skull fan, but these were done all right. I'll be all right with them. This one's dragging on too. I'm sorry, but I'm almost done. Cabal, Clive Barker. It's basically the last book in his Books of Blood series. I sold all my Books of Blood, but I kept this one because it's got a Cabal in it. I mean, this has got it's got the stories that are in the last Books of Blood plus Cabal, but at the time I didn't have any other way to read Cabal, I don't think. So I kept this, and I should have probably included this when I sold the other Books of Blood. But like I said, I didn't have any. I didn't feel like tracking down another copy, so I decided to keep it. Oh, by the way, I might as well tell you, if you didn't already know, Eat Them Alive is by Pierce Nace, and Flesh Bait is by David Holman and Larry Press. I've been trying to keep the authors when they tell you about the books, just in case you wanted to look for them. Mark Saunders, Blight. Another, supposed to be a horror book, but another one on the weird side from what I gather. Like Eat Them Alive. This was another booger to find. It might be easier to find now, I don't know. I haven't checked, like I said before, it's once I acquire a book, I don't really don't really look to see how much more available it is after that. And yeah, this is hard to find, very hard to find at the time for me. Night of the Crabs. This might be the first in the series by Guy N. Smith. I'd like to have as many of these books in the series as I can get, but so far this is the only one I've been able to track down. You can expect to pay $15, $20 at minimum for any of the ones in the series. Just put out one. Charnel Caves, I believe, is the newest one. It hasn't really even come down itself from the new price. And it probably wasn't published in a big enough print run to do so in the used market, I don't think. So even it will probably stay up high. Eventually, you might be able to find somebody that will cut you a break, especially if they have a set or something. I don't know. But yeah, some people have gotten lucky in the book group and found them somewhere, but not me. I've looked a bunch, and they're always minimum $15, $20 a piece, and usually more than that. Yeah, I think I got them as ebooks, but I'd rather read them as physical copies. I'll probably wind up reading them as ebooks. Yeah. Morgo Rises by Peter Tremaine. Yeah. I don't know if this goes by another name or not. It might. There might be another version of this book. Yeah. Like I told you before, I got some worm books, and this might be the first worm book I'll read. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, if you're gonna get a horror, if you like animal horror and horror general, yeah, get this at least for the image on the cover. It's probably a little bit pricey, but I think it might still be able to be found. I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you just want to if you buy books based on the cover, yeah, there you go. This is the last one. It's another twofer. These can be hard to find, but when they're available, there could be like 4 copies come out at once. You never know. And sometimes, like what happened with me, there are sellers that don't know what they're selling. The City and the Farm, Richard Haig. Yeah. I got quite a few pig books, like I do a lot of other animal books. And these are must-gets in the horror realm if you can find them. Both of them are very hard to find, especially The City. Hold on a minute. There is a uncensored cover of The City. Yeah. This is what it was supposed to be. Yeah. But they just took the top image of it. This is from Paperbacks from Hell by Grady Hendrix. I mean, this is almost like a Bible now, as far as the very interesting and sometimes rare horror books. Yeah, this has become almost a must-get as well. And I'll tell you, at least for me, I don't know if this book is haunted or if my copy is haunted, but I've skimmed through this multiple times, a lot. And I've paid attention to the images. I've read a few of the articles. sometimes images disappear and other images take their place. I'll be going through it. I'll remember a book from this, then I'll look through it again. The book's no longer there. Or looking on a certain page, I'll recognize that there's a book on that page, or certain books on that page, and then all of a sudden there'll be a different one there. Nobody else has complained about this. I'm not one to believe in the supernatural, but yeah, that's happened to me. I don't know what to make of that. Like I said, a bad memory, but yeah, I know what I've forgotten and what I haven't. There's a difference between knowing if you're forgetting stuff and you knowing what you forget, and then knowing what you know happened. That's the difference. This ain't simple forgiveness. There are things that come and go in this book. So that's it. Yeah. I won't tell you what I've paid for these, but I have found them twice, and I've sold a better copy of each one. And there was more copies available than the 2 each that I've seen that I bought. Right now, they're probably not available, but they'll probably come available again. Yeah, I definitely made my money back when I resold those 2, because I found these reasonable prices both times. So I guess when I overpaid for some, I get lucky sometimes in these, like in some others. So I guess it evens out in the end. So there you go. That's the second shelf on that bookcase. Got 4 more to go. I may have to break them down into 3 videos a piece now, especially if I can get to talking like this. I didn't think this was going to take this long, this second half. Once again, I thank you. Sorry it took so long. And I'll catch you again on